Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on the DATV Worldwide Net. Thank you for joining and thank you for listening. We are streaming on YouTube. It's going out all right by the looks of it, so all's good. Yeah, I was busy trying to sort out something else in the shack, and so it was a bit of a rush to get things done. Anyway, I hope everyone had a lovely week, and we have a few more. Leon has apologized. He's on his way to his old salt mine. They've called him back for another, I don't know how long, couple of weeks, I suppose. So he unfortunately can't make it at this time. He's on his way as we speak. So let's just have a look, see who do we have on the list. We have Phil. Going to be very interesting to hear about your balloon update there, Phil. And hello to Mike, spoke to you earlier on. I think I might have found a fault with that zero frequency signal I had on QO-100. I think I'll only test it after this net's done. And then hello to Nigel, saw you earlier, great signal, no problem. Hello to Peter, GW7BZY. And Simon, sizzling, you say. Oh, by goods. I see you guys in the UK have had it hot. Yeah, at the moment, the temperature is about 19 degrees C, and it's quite cool for us anyway. But nice to see you on, Simon, G4ELI. Right, so let me just get the list off again, and I think we pass it to Phil. And Phil, if you pass it to Mike. Mike Zero, PIT, we're really interested in your balloon experience. From ZA6YI.
Right. Good afternoon, one and all, wherever you are. Yes, it's thank you, Gary. Yeah, the weather is quite warm. It's actually today it's a bit cooler than it has been. Currently, the ambient temperature, where all my kit is out in a little hut in the garden, is 31 degrees. And currently my PA is sitting there at 33.5 and rising, so I'm not going to be on here for very long because my PA is going to get extremely hot. So I'm just going to quickly just go through my an update on my little project. It's a Pico balloon project, which I should just show you this. I'm going to quickly run through it. In case you're not familiar with it. This is what it's all about. It's a little Pico transmitter with solar panel for power, and you have a balloon, and that's what it looks like in real life. That's not mine, but that's what it looks like. I launched Saturday, just over a week ago, nearly 2 weeks ago on Saturday. We launched at about, don't know, it must have been about 20 past 6 in the evening. I'm going to just, rather than sit and look at a static picture of a balloon, let's go back to me, which is probably even worse for you guys. Anyhow, yeah, we launched Saturday. Yeah, it's nearly 2 weeks. The launch was successful. We got it into the air without any damage. The Pico transmitter, it's on 20 meters, and it kicks out 13 dBm, which is 20 milliwatts. So it's very, very low power. So let me go back and let's have a look at some more pictures. alas to say, there was only 3 of us doing the launch, and it takes 3 to launch it. So we don't actually have any video, which was a real shame, but it just wasn't practical for a launch with 2 people. Anyway, let's whiz through this, done that. This was the solar panel that went on the Pico. It's quite fiddly to make. That's what it looks like, or looked like, under test in the garden. That one is looking up underneath, because that's not a particularly good picture, because they're solar panels and they should be blue. But anyway, that's what it looks like on underneath. So, this was the launch gantry, as I call it. The Pico, as you can see, has been clamped securely, and it uses a dipole to transmit. And there's 5 metres of wire on each leg of the dipole, very, very thin, 32 gauge wire. And that's stuck to some fishing line to give it some strength. And the bottom leg of it is wrapped up in that bucket, nice and loosely. And the leg that goes to the balloon, that is just wrapped up on a cardboard tube prior to launch. And it's actually, when we transport it, it's actually transported as 2 buckets. It's very delicate. All of it is very delicate. So you have to make sure that you don't do any damage to it. And it's, believe me, very simple. So that's all the waffle of the project. So how did we do? Well, I shall show you some telemetry, which you may or may not be able to see. But I've got a better one here, so I can actually explain it to you without giving you a load of lies or a load of rubbish. Anyhow, right, we launched, as I said, it was about 20, I don't know, just after 20 past 6 at night, and on the bottom of the telemetry there at 1828, it's the first sighting. There's no telemetry, it's just that the channel that is used, which is allocated to me, it's been picked up, so the frequency has been picked up, but there's no data as such. And every 10 minutes the Pico will retransmit. So the next one is 1838, and the same thing, there's no telemetry there. Then there's a slot that is totally missed, which is 48. The next one is 58, and there's some telemetry coming through. And then in 708 or 1908, same thing. But then at 1928, telemetry starts to be picked up, and the same thing at 1938. Now, the real interesting thing on there for me, and probably for you guys as well, is the altitude in feet, because it got to 36.4 thousand feet, and this is a party balloon. That's how high it got, and at that point, telemetry is lost, so we don't know what happened to it. How far did we get in terms of distance? It's about, where's my bit of paper gone? Here we go. About 120 kilometres from launch site, which is about 75 miles before it disappeared. So, yeah, so in many respects it was a success. We didn't get round the world, I didn't even leave England, but it got to 36,500 feet. But the real amazing thing, certainly for me, it was a real shock, was the coverage. Bearing in mind this is 20 milliwatts, and that is the coverage. That was where my little project was picked up. Absolutely astonishing for 20 milliwatts. all over Europe, right into America, Canada. Astonishing, 20 milliwatts. That's all it is. So that's it. So that's what happened. Let's go back to me. There we go. So I'm back to me. So yeah, it wasn't a total success, but it wasn't a failure. Next project will be Mark II, a balloon Mark II, which I've already started to work on, which I'll just show you what I've got. I shall use the shaky cam. Here we go, here's the shaky cam. There we go, the shaky cam. That's the my latest Pico. All ready for the, well, we'll be ready for the balloon. You can see there's a little piggyback board on it. That bit there, that is the GPS antenna, and the two bits of wire sticking out the side, that's where the dipole, the two legs of the dipole go. I'll turn it over. That's the other side of the Pico. At the bottom is the GPS receiver, and then as you go up, it's the PA for 20 milliwatts. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to. And my PA, it's not too bad. It's 42 degrees, but it is rising. So I'm gonna, I'll just show you this. I'll show you that. Very delicate. That is the solar panel that will be going on my Mark II. It's going to give me an extra volt that will give me just over 4 volts. It's very, very delicate, to say the least, but I did drop it when I was playing around with it yesterday. Dropped it from about chest height onto concrete, and it survived. So that was accidental, but it survived. But yeah, so to handle it quite delicate. So yeah, so that, got stuck. So that's enough of me and my little project. So I'm going to hand it over to Mike, MJW. So I'm going to put up a test card, Mike, and then it's over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. I'm afraid I didn't receive your transmission, just a bit too weak. I got you at the start, but halfway through, after about the first 5 minutes or so, it dropped down to the level I couldn't receive anything at. So I have no idea what you were saying, I'm afraid. Right. Oh, no video. Well, I don't know why I've not got any video. Got some on my side, but let me know if there's no video. Right. What was I going to talk about? Not very much. I just thought I'd come on and say hello. The excitement of Marmotsat, of course, is something to look at, and what's been happening there. Although whether this Canadian satellite will be receivable in the UK or even transmitting over the UK is yet to be seen. But a lot of people are really interested in trying to decode it, so let's hope so. That's on 10 meters for those who don't know, which is an unusual band. It's not the sort of band you put up crossed Yagis on anyway. So some smaller antennas will have to be used. The only other thing I was going to talk about was there's been a lot of good tropo around Europe, but I expect everyone's sick about hearing about that, and quite a lot of people aren't in Europe anyway, so I won't be benefiting from it. It's the Finigny Roundtable next Sunday, so looking forward to attending that for the first time. I've not been to it before, so let's see what it's like. I don't know if anyone else is going there, like maybe Nigel or somebody like that. And then week and a bit after that, we've got Cat 26 on the 2nd of August. But I'll be travelling down on the Saturday when Gary is doing his AMSAT SA meeting, which should be very interesting as well. Okay, I think that's enough from me because I'm probably not a very good signal with most people. So let's pass it around to Nigel, M9NTR. Hopefully you're receiving me okay, Nigel. Round to you, G0MJW.
One, two, three, test. Okay, thanks, Mike. Cut over to me. Yeah, I'm okay. Yes, it's Mike. I don't know, something slightly not out of drift with my setup. It's I keep getting 5 seconds itch on the receive. But so I don't know. I mean, and then that was with Paul. No, Paul. And I got Phil. Sorry, Phil. Yeah, usually every 5 seconds you was dropping. Audio was dropping out and then coming back in. But I got you okay. Phil, yeah, I said Phil, yeah, Mike, yeah, yours was a bit low for me. I got you in these phones for the last couple of minutes. So, I don't know, something slightly set up, not quite right. I've always got these little glitches, but hey, it wouldn't be me if I didn't have a glitch. I've ordered a new PA off Jim Smith, the amp man. He's going to sending it this week, so should be getting a bit better amp. Nothing wrong with this amp, I don't think, but you can never do too many amps. Needing a spare one. But yeah, other than that, not done a lot. You're in too hot here. When it reaches 33, 35, say, it's too hot. Don't do anything. Just sit near a fan indoors. But it's 29 today, 25, 29 C, but still too hot. I've got a fan blowing in the background, so I don't know if you can hear me rustling on the microphone. I don't know, but yeah. Okay. I got anything else to say other than I'll be on till the end, Gary, and stand by, Peter. GW7BZY. Pete, stand by. When I drop carrier, you can take over. So I'm giving you plenty notice, Pete. Hope you're coping with the weather in Wales, better than what we're fearing. But I think all over the UK it's been hot, so no matter where you are. I think I had a friend went up to Scotland, northwest Scotland for 2 weeks. He come back yesterday and he was having rain and whatnot and cooler weather and coming back here. I thought I wasn't bothered going away, but I know that's higher. Anyway, me waffling on. Anyway, okay then, Pete, I'm going to put carrier test card up and I'll drop carrier when the test card. Stand by. Test card. When the test card comes, I'll kick carrier.
Not very quick there. I wasn't prepared. I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. I turned the driver PA off, so it didn't fire up when I wanted it. Not the driver PA, the BIOS. So anyway, I'm on now. Good afternoon, everybody. Lovely day here in Wales. It's about 27, 28. Fantastic weather. I expect there's plenty to complain, but I mean, I like the sunshine personally, and I like the heat. Good stuff from Phil there. It was surprisingly interesting, that balloon. That was really good. I must say, that's fascinating. Excellent stuff from JW. I have no problem seeing you here. And my dish is once again getting overgrown with brambles, etc. So obviously the conditions, not having rain and what so much. Well, there should be more humidity in the air with it being hot, but seems to be better receptions generally at the moment. So it's probably because there's no rain clouds. What else? That's about it, really. I think I've got covered everybody's comments there. Good to see N9 NTR. I've been off a bit, working overtime, and just generally I do other things, take the wife out, etc. But I thought I would come on today, show me face. Hopefully still the one of the better pictures on the satellite. I'm not going to upset anybody. Why not? What have I been doing? Not a lot. I saw something on Facebook, and somebody was getting involved with 50 meg ATV. Now that sounds a bit interesting for me here, because we do have a repeater over on Anglesey, which is within 77 range, more or less, even though the Pathfinder doesn't really show it as a path. But I know there has been a path, because my brother lived just down the road at one time, and he managed to get in. But he did have my 100 element loop Yagi, which unfortunately, when he passed away, never came back to me. So I might have to increase my antenna situation. But 50 megs seems to be a good idea. 50 megs. I wonder, anybody out there that knows any restrictions on the repeater input for 50 megs on amateur telly? We have a 23 SEM output, but the output is probably receiving via the BATV site if need be. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. A bit of 76 meter amateur telly, albeit on DVB-S rather than DVB-T. Although I have a DVB-T transmitter that will transmit 1 meg, I think. But I think receiving it is quite a challenge. I'm not up to speed with the progress of software receiving DVB-T or DVB-T2. Maybe somebody on here today can fill me in on that. That'd be interesting. With that, I'll hand it round. Who am I handing it round to? Good question. Dip down. Find me book. Get me glasses. Monitoring DMR. If anybody's got a DMR radio, there is a DMR amateur television channel. Talkback channel, I believe. I've never heard anybody, but there again, mine's receive at the moment is agnostic, so it'll receive all channels. Yeah, I think I'm going to hand it round to Simon. Good afternoon to you, Simon. I hope the weather down there is as pleasant as it is here. A nice, warm, toasty 27, 28 degrees. Over to you, sir, from GW7BZY and Leicester Group with a test card.
Just wait for the images to appear. That's me. Just wait for the images to appear. Yes, always forget to do this because continually testing. Well, it came on this afternoon because it's too hot really to be outside. It's about 27 in the shade outside, which is something we just don't get. Normally the dog's in the garage, which is one of the coolest places. He's not up for it. We'll go out about 8 o'clock this evening. Phil, call sign M0PIT. If possible, can you run another dB of power for poor old Mike there, who's using his dish lying in the weeds in the garden? Yes, now Mike alluded to the Troppo. On Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? I think Wednesday, I assembled my new 70 SEMS antenna, 15-element power beam. I pointed it down at the, so I got it up on the mast about 12:30. And in the evening, while it was pointed down at EA8, there were 2 EA8 guys on sideband, 1,600 miles or about 2,600 kilometers. And since that day, there hasn't really been very much happening on 70, or 2 for that matter. But we have had some an outstanding sporadic E opening on 2 meters. Sadly, we don't get sporadic E on 70 SEMS. It's too high. Technology-wise, haven't done anything at all to SDR television, which is what I'm using at the moment. I do have one major feature to add, which is the LDPC, or forward error correction coding, when very low or high, depending which on your point of view, FEC values are used. For example, FEC 1/4, and the signal's noisy. Got to add something called some product FEC correction. Otherwise, that's it. And the plan is I'll stay on for another round, but then I'm going to head off, go and take a break for a bit. Tomatoes are doing well, chilies are doing well, and really can't complain. It is nice to have this weather, though. It really is nice. It was an extremely wet winter, and unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have a very bad winter with El Nino coming along. So with that, back to Gary, and I'll hang around for a bit. I must say, the quality of your video encoding, Peter and Nigel, outstanding, really good, particularly Nigel. I find when you do the encoding using the Microsoft codecs, it works really well if the light is good. And the light's not particularly good. I'm in quite a lot of shadow around here. It's not actually as bright as I see on the playback, so the camera's adjusting things. So over to you, Gary, from G4 ELI without any test cards.
Okay, very good. Let me just see. I'm going to put a little bit of steam to be able to get a decent signal into all over. Okay, Simon, very nice indeed. Nice signal, crystal clear, rock solid. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, let's just go down the list. Yeah, Phil, very nice effort you've done there, and I would consider it a success. You've been heard all over. One wonders now, why did it suddenly stop? Did the balloons burst? That's a possibility. Or, yeah, at the time you sent, it should have still had sunlight. So that's an interesting one. I know there's a South African guy. He's done his first lap around the Earth, or Southern Hemisphere, of course. And so there's quite a lot of interest in this, these Pico balloons and so forth. It's very fascinating, and there's a lot of skill to build a thing so light, and as you rightly say, Phil, 20 milliwatts, and to get heard all over the place. That's fantastic. But I'm sure the next one, version Model 2, you say, Mark 2, will do better. It would have been nice if one could have found out why did it cease. But anyway, that's part of the thing. Just want to say hi to Albert, ON4AAH, as well as to Ziggy, Delta Golf 9 Bravo Fox Charlie, and Frick, ZS6 Foxtrot Zulu. And Frick is also watching on his own receiver. Yeah, the temperatures you guys are talking about is a cool summer's day here, 31 degrees at Phil, Nigel 29 degrees, Peter 28, Simon 27, and sizzling. Yeah, that's a nice, comfortable afternoon, summer afternoon over here. We're lucky. We don't get much over 35, and our humidity is very low where we live. Where Leon lives, that's a different story. There's a lot of humidity, but not as much as in Cape Town or in Durban. It's terrible. February is a killer down there. Humidity is like 100%. I remember my wife telling me she hails from Scotland. She was born near St. Andrews, and I was only 7 when she came to South Africa. So when she got out of school, walked straight into the swimming pool, school uniform and all. It must have been horrendous. And there weren't too many air conditioners around that time. Anyway, Simon, I might have found the fault on the EQ Plus that was causing that low frequency tone. I don't say I have, but I've changed the power supply for something more substantial, and I did discover that the power supplies that came with the units were running at 18 volt, and they should only be running at 12 volt. Even on the power supply it says 12 volt. So I don't know if that could have had anything to do. There should be more regulation inside, but however, I'll test it after a bit later this afternoon. And yeah, no, you must keep the dogs cool. If they're not used to that heat, it's terrible. Right, Mike, excellent signal from you. I had no problem copying you there. Nice, very nice video too. So a little bit low, but I've moved one of my LNBs onto the 2.4 meter dish. So I'm running the DATV station on the 2.4 up and down now. And we still got a mystery with the QO-100 down converter. Leon looked at it on his 10 gig generator and network analyzer or spectrum analyzer, and the local oscillator frequencies are all over the place. Now, I don't know how to, there's no information on how to program it. There is information on programming the up converter, the QO-100 up converter, but no input regarding the down converter. And there must be a way to do it, because they have programmed it for sure. And I think this thing must have, either with a lightning strike, 2 of these units have jumped, as far as we're concerned. Bottom line, it works if you go off the normal IF frequency. It's got 4 or 3 different IF frequencies, but they're about 20 megs different to what it should be. So it makes it difficult on the ICOM 9700. So in the meantime, I've just taken a normal LNB, GPO disciplined it, and GPS disciplined it, and it's and then found the frequency, and it's nice. It's very cheap. Man, it's 99 Rand, 100 Rand, which is about, I think, about 5 or so pounds. It's for nothing. So I bought a whole lot of them, and they're so easy to convert. The little crystals, tiny thing, but it's much easier to remove that than the bigger crystals. So there's hardly anything on that PC board. Everything is in its main lock chip there, and just 2 gas FETs for horizontal and vertical. So that's what I was doing this week, and I converted three of them, and then I would test them on my dish, just plug them in and have a look, and to within one hertz accuracy on Simon's SDR. That's I must say, Simon, compliments once again. That SDR receiver side is fantastic. Anyway, what else was there? Yeah, our AMSAT SA conference will be held on the 1st of August. And I suppose I'll put it on this frequency, maybe on DATV, for whoever wants to see it. Nigel, nice signal from you, no problem. Copied you fine, and thanks for coming up. Always good to see you. And then Peter, yeah, crisp, clear, nice signal from you. Audio is nice. So you've improved. And Simon, I've already commented on. So, okay, it's going to be a shortish net at this time. So back to you, Phil. Mike 0 PIT to please take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Let's turn that down. Well, I'll turn the wick up a bit. It's extremely hot, my PA, and when it does get really hot, the gain of it reduces quite a bit. So I might have started off with some decent amount of power, but probably finished quite a bit low. But I've turned it up at the moment, but it's going to get pretty warm out there. Okay, Mike, that's good. My project, what I talked about, I'm not going to go through it because of a lot of people would be bored with it. But it's basically it's a Pico balloon. So it's a party balloon with a Pico transmitter, 20 milliwatts on it. And I launched it a week, just over a week and a half ago, Saturday. And let's go back to me. And it was some success. The launch went perfect, and there wasn't enough of us to video it, alas to say, because there was only 3, and it takes 3 to launch one of these, so there was nobody with a video. So how did I do? I got up to 36,500 feet, and then we lost signal. In terms of distance, how far did we travel? 120 kilometres, and which is 75 miles in an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. But it worked. Why did it fail? Well, filling of the balloon with gas was done by one of my colleagues, and I really didn't have any control over it, and it was delivered pre-filled. And when I saw it, I thought there was too much gas in that. I think it was just under 50% full, and at 36,000 feet, that amount of gas would expand by a factor of about 5, and I think the balloon failed. That's what I think. Secondly, it could be that the solar panel disintegrated because the winds are quite high. So that's really it. So this time the balloon will be filled with the minimum amount of gas to give a free lift, what's called free lift, of 7 grams. The payload on the one I've just done was 16 and a half grams. My Mark II is estimated at the moment at about 20 and a half grams, and that's because it's got a slightly bigger solar panel. But anyhow, that's enough from me. My PA has jumped up in temperature. At least I hope that Nigel and Mike received my transmission. So I'm going to put up a test card, and then I don't think Mike's coming back. So I'm probably going to hand it over to you then, Nigel, but you might just want to wait a bit to see if Mike does come back. So let's find a test card.
1, 2, 3. Transition over. Yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, sorry I didn't comment about your balloon earlier on. I don't know why I forgot. Well, I do know why I forgot. It's very conditional, but anyway. Yeah, but fantastic. It was a success, mate. Getting up to 36,000 feet. No fate. And, I think you've done well, mate. And then you're going to do it again, Mark II. Yeah, very interesting. Yes, and you must try and get a fourth person to video it. I know it's easier said than done, but you got to try. If you don't live too far away, I'd come and do it. But I think living in the Midlands and you down south, I don't think it would be practical for me to do it distance wise. But anyway, and yes, turning the PA up, it certainly did make a difference. I got you okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, got it okay, yeah. Simon, thanks for your comments as well, mate. I don't know if it's lighting. I've switched the main lights on as well. Earlier on, I didn't have them on. So I don't know if it's made a difference on video quality. But it's, all good. I ain't got much more to say because I can't remember what I was saying anyway. But yeah, comment. So, I'm going to hand it over to Pete in a minute. Peter, get ready, GW7PZY, and thanks for coming on, everybody, and look forward to seeing you in the near future. Oh yeah, Simon, just one thing, why I remember. Have you got any idea why my receiver, every 5 seconds it just blips out for a second or two? The video's alright, it's just the audio, or it freezes a little bit. I don't know if I was too open of a question, that is, but I suppose what I've been, every time you've done an update on your SDR, I've copied the help sheet. I don't know if you've done the help sheets up to date yet, so I can print them out for your last one, so just because I can check it. But just a matter of interest. Anyway, Gary, Peter, back to you. I have to put my test card up. GW7ZPZY, take it over. And thanks for winning the net. As always, Gary, you're a star. I don't know what we'd do without you, mate. Aye. Let's find a test card and cut over. There you go. Wait for the test card to come up. Yeah, test card's here. Well, my moment, that's not too bad. Okay. All right, Peter, over to you.
Okay, GW7BZY, so I can get onto the thing and turn my sound down before it starts blasting out. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, all good stuff. Yeah, I was going to apply to the same that I'm using hardware encoding same. I'm using the NVIDIA. I've got a 3070 card, and I've optimized my turn the microphone around so it's pointing at me. Optimize my settings in and I use DATV Red, and I've had a play in the past with the settings, and I think it got it pretty optimal for what we do. These are the look ahead and various other parameters that are available via FFmpeg, I think, and the NVIDIA codecs. So I'm running 20 frames. I might have in the past run 25 frames, but I think you get a bit better picture. Well, you do get a better picture the less frames you run, but then again, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It might get a bit of a strobe effect, especially when it's recast on YouTube. I've run 15 frames, I finally get a half a frame sometimes. I can't have that. So there we are. Not, if you want to achieve the best picture, possibly the best picture in the world. And now I'm trying to commit the sound being fairly good. I think the sound is fairly good now, and that's due to NVIDIA broadcast being improved. And my DMR radio is fired up. I wondered whether it was that. There is an amateur. I'll just mention there is an amateur radio frequency or group for DMR, which would be interesting for us to use if those got DMR radios. But anyway, with that, great stuff all around. Balloon sounds far more interesting than I thought it would be. It sounds really good. And yes, it probably burst. It's probably got sucked into a jumbo jet or something. 36,000 feet. Nothing been on the news, so I don't have nothing clear that happened, but there we are. Should be serious now. Okay. Good to see everybody on. Good to see you on, Gary. I spoke to Leon earlier, and he sends his regards to everybody. Unfortunately, he's had to go and get on with his job, or go to where he goes to, his second home. And with that, I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for running the net, Gary, and to everybody else who's appeared and performed, etc. From GW7BZY. Shall I go for... No, I'm not going to go for a cube zoom because the encoder's not really up to it. It's better with cuts. It likes cuts. So we'll go with a cut. This is GW7BZY. Maybe catch you next week. Probably not. I'm working.
Just waiting for the images to come over. Okay, well, I'll say goodbye to everyone. Gary, when you measured the voltage on your audio thingy, some PSUs, if there's no load, the voltage goes high. That's all I can say, but I'm quite sure you're well aware of that. Nigel, I've no idea why the audio is cutting out at all, I'm afraid. I'd have to know more about how things are set up on your computer. I may or may not be on. Normally, I'd be taking the dog out at this time in the afternoons, but it's just too warm to take him out at the moment. That's really the main reason why I'm on. And then come 5 o'clock our time, we have a magnificent program on Jazz FM. I mean, for me, the best time for having nets like this would be a couple of hours later. 3 hours, let's see, 2 hours later. Because during the daytime, we do things, particularly with the hairy hound who's currently behind me. Let me see if I move to this. I'm trying to work things out. Right. So this should, there you go. You see him in the corner of the room there. It's a one of the cooler spots. But as soon as I move, he'll come with me. He follows me around. He was, I've had him 4 years on Friday. It's his 7th birthday tomorrow. So yesterday we went to a wonderful pizza place down on the Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall, and he got crust of pizza, chips, and licked out 2 ice cream bowls. Very, very happy dog. So with that, 7-3 everyone, over to you, Gary, and if I'm on next week, I'm on, and if I'm not, I'm not.
Okay, Simon. Yeah, excellent signal from you. And what a happy dog. What a lucky dog, too. I think if there is such a thing as reincarnation, I'd like to come back as a rich man's dog. I don't think there could be anything better. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for coming up on frequency today. It's been a short but interesting net all the same. Thanks to Phil. And with that project, that's wonderful. We see each other next week, all being equal. And I take cognizance of the starting the net 2 hours later. It might make good sense. I just don't know what it does with people's tea in the evening in the UK. But yeah, I can understand summer holidays and summer weekends. You don't want to be sitting in the shack. So, yeah, we might have to change frequency, time once again. until we get that sweet spot where we get a lot of guys on. Right, with that, I'm going to close the net. Wish everybody a lovely week, and we see each other next week. This is ZS6YI, and I haven't often sent my test card, but I'll do that for the change from ZS6YI. 7-3 all.
Yep. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Was nice to join the net. Last week was a bit small, but I think that had something to do with Formula One. And today, of course, is Wimbledon. But still, quite a few people on. I have nothing really useful to add. It's just that I mentioned to Gary that I have a new camera, which is running at the moment. And it's much better than the Logic Net I had before. Let me just see. No. Of course, that thing has shut down at the moment. That figures. So I wanted to actually show a picture of it. Devices. Okay, no. Okay, it's called an eMeet Pico. It's a small round little thing, and it works actually quite well. Yeah, I try to connect that camera with another software on via Wi-Fi, but I waited too long. So obviously, in the meantime, it shut down. Okay, I wish everybody a nice Sunday, what's left of it, and maybe until next week from 7.
Okay, Frank, you know, I was going to ask you about the camera. We want to try and get Andre on, ZS2BK. And I was thinking of that very camera you've got. It's brilliant. It's got very, very sharp focus, very, very nice signal indeed. And you say it's an eMeet Pico. Now, I wonder where did you obtain it? But you can maybe send me something on WhatsApp. And you might have noticed that the power has come on last Monday, actually Friday a week ago, but a bit intermittent still. We've had a few times when the power fell away because they're still testing, but it's getting better now, thank goodness, and I just hope it stays that way. It's been a horrendous time. I've got 3 factories running different projects and products, and I had to spend a hell of a lot of money on generators and, well, actually on the fuel, the diesel. I have generators, but to run those big injection machines, 500 kVAs generator, and it's very, very thirsty, I can tell you that. Anyway, with that, I think the whole net's gone. So thanks for coming up, Frank, and we'll speak again. Maybe you can pop me the info on the camera via WhatsApp. That will be very nice if you can. So cheers there. Greetings to all. This is ZS6YI, now closing station.